Ladies and gentlemen, right now it's my great honor and pleasure to introduce you to Reverend Monsignor Peter Coterie of St. Thomas More of Manalapan to give our invocation.
O God, our Creator, Sustainer, and Sanctifier, as we, your children from varied traditions and convictions, gathered together this morning to celebrate and once again reaffirm our common bond and unity as citizens of this great nation, now bow our heads before you. We remember all those who have died in 9/11 attack on us, especially those who died in service of others and their families. May their dedication and self-service, self-sacrifice serve as a shining lamp of love and heroism. May we or our future generation never forget their memory. May this modest observation today help us to recommit ourselves to the American values of patriotism, resilience, and courage. We today, in a special way, ask your blessing on all our nation, its leaders, and all those who serve you one way or another. We pray for our men and women in armed forces who risk their lives to protect us and our precious freedom. Bless all the participants of this event. We ask all this in your holy and precious almighty name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Monsignor. As now it's my great honor and pleasure to introduce you to our committee co-chairmen, Dennis Walsh and Joe Zambrowski.
Good morning and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of our committee, Joe and myself, we want to thank you for coming, welcome you to our 17th walk. Amazing 17 years, but there's always been a strong commitment to this by our committee and by you, and we really thank you for that. I was told I have 2 minutes today, and I think this is just another Irish morning, I think, so I'll keep it brief. Simply say, let us remember Joe, Tom, Chris, and others we lost on that tragic day. Let us also thank our first responders who continue to suffer, and may God bless them. God bless Joe, Pat, and Chris, and God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce you to the Honorable Jack McNobe, our Manalapan Mayor, and Susan Cohen, our Deputy Mayor.
Hello, everyone. Mayor Jack McNaboe was here before, but he had to leave. So on behalf of Mayor McNaboe and our Township Committee, Police Commissioner Mary Ann Music, our Committeeman David Kane, and Committeeman Kevin Uniglick. We welcome you here today. We're so thankful that you're here, especially the youth who were not born yet when 9/11 occurred. It is great. It's something that brings our community together, and we're so thankful to our first responders. We will never forget those in our community that lost their lives and everyone else. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Susan. We are honored to also have the Old Glory here. It's a flag. It's underneath here. If you haven't been inside, at some point you might want to go in and take a look at it. I'll tell you a little bit about the Old Glory. It's a special American flag named Old Glory. It's being presented again this year by the Manalapan Police Honor Guard. Old Glory is on a world tour called Old Glory Travels America's Freedom Road, conducted by My Century Link America. This flag was first raised at Valley Forge National Historic Park in 1999, and I believe that does have some significance because the soldiers trained for the battle that was to occur here during the winter before the summer battle here at Battlefield Monmouth Park. The tour's mission, in part, is to remember and commemorate important events of our history, to honor the service and sacrifice of those who have helped shape them. Old Glory has been raised at Normandy, American Cemetery, the Oklahoma City Memorial, atop Cervati on Iwo Jima, on the USS Arizona at Pearl Harbor, at the Pentagon, Arlington National Cemetery, the World War II and Korean memorials in Washington, D.C., and countless countries and other places that hold special meaning for our country. Surely it is a well-traveled flag. Old Glory has special meaning for us today as we remember and honor the lives of Joe, Chris, and Tom. On December 13th, 2001, Old Glory was raised in a ceremony at Ground Zero in New York City. George McCann and his family were chosen to help raise the flag. George said, "We served as an honor guard for my brother Tom McCann and nearly 3,000 others who lost their lives, Chris Gray included. And for the first anniversary commemoration at Flight 93 in Shanksville, PA, on September 11th, 2002, that honored the heroes of Flight 93, including Joe Driscoll, Old Glory was presented as a ceremonial American flag by the 101st Airborne Assault Guard. Old Glory, along with the pictures of her travels, will be on display after our ceremony, and I think it's only fitting that Old Glory is with us today. Now, I'd like to introduce you to George McCann, his brother of FDNY firefighter Thomas McCann. Let's have a nice hand for George, everybody.
I'm forever the optimist, so that's why I have sunglasses on. It'll get better. It's a privilege and an honor to be representing the Driscoll, Gray, and McCann families as we honor Joe, Chris, and Tom. On that tragic day, they were our heroes. I think back and I can only imagine Joe on Flight 93 jumping to help support the passengers to stop that flight from the terrorist attack and take it down. I can imagine Chris Gray trying to comfort and calm people in the Trade Center as they were there surrounded by flames and hoping to be saved. I can imagine my brother Tom, along with all the other firemen in that building, rescuing hundreds and thousands of people to come out of there. And then they became our heroes as they each lost their lives. They and so many others. And then I wonder, where are today's heroes? Well, certainly the men and women in the military to protect our country, they're our heroes. The first responders who put themselves second and you first when they show up to take care of your needs, they are our heroes. But what about the everyday heroes? And I'm talking about volunteerism. This would not be possible if not for the Walk with Joe committee and all the volunteers and everyone who has stepped up to make this day be a continuing day of remembrance. And finally, the everyday hero that I want to honor today is all of you. You could have been anywhere else but here in the rain, but you chose to be here. You chose to do this because it keeps the memory alive of Joe, of Chris, and Tom, and all the others who lost their lives on 9/11. So on behalf of the Driscoll family, the Gray family, the McCann family, I thank you all, our heroes, and I hope you have a good walk and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, George. Well said. All right, I always ask this every year. I ask everybody to come take a couple steps forward because I'm going to sing this song, but I want you all to sing it with me. We'll sing this song, and then we'll have a benediction, and then Dennis Donovan will lead us out to the walk. This song's called God Bless America. I'm sure you know it by now. God bless America, the land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam, Oh, God bless America, my home, sweet home. Give yourself a nice hand out there. Once again, I want to thank all of our Walk with Joe family for joining us here today. We do so appreciate you coming out for this great cause, honoring our heroes and helping to support local charities. This is how we make the difference from this tragedy. Right now, I'd like to introduce you to the Reverend Douglas Hughes from the Old Tenant Presbyterian Church in Manalapan. Can we have a nice hand for the Reverend?
Let's pray. Today, O God, we gather here among friends and relatives, walkers and guests. And we gather to remember that fateful day 17 years ago, when this country was attacked. And we have those images that are so ingrained in our hearts and our minds. And so we pause here this morning to give thanks for this special day, when we celebrate the life and memory of Joe and Chris and Tom, who in their own humble ways have set forth a legacy and a living spirit which has influenced countless numbers of people, young and old alike, throughout their lifetimes and beyond. And so we remember with special gratitude those who, like Joe, Chris, and Tom, who have become symbols of freedom throughout our noble history. We are grateful for the skill and determination of those who have contributed to the continuation of our liberty and freedom. We are aware that those contributions have often been made at great personal sacrifice. And so may those same values that have made this nation strong be renewed in all of us once again. And Lord, today we ask that you watch over all the participants in this walk. Give them strength and courage and stamina to cross the finish line with heads held high. And the knowledge that this event means so much more than just minutes and seconds or what place one finishes in the race. This race is about values and traditions and memories. And so, Lord, it's with these thoughts that we come before you this day, and we look forward to all our remembrances to come. Help us to keep faith with those who have gone before, and allow us to raise high the torch of freedom and carry it proudly into the future of this community, our nation, and our world. These things we ask and pray in your most holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Donovan, our bagpiper, will lead the walkers to the starting gate, accompanied by Old Glory, the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, the Cub Scouts, and the athletes.